We are on cycle 3, and in this cycle, we are going to dive deep into our learning objective and what this idea of nature versus nurture really means to Max. So let's open up our books to page 153, starting at the red dot. I don't know why I keep asking because it gives me the creeps. You'd think I could be as cool as Freak about the idea because it's him that's going to get a new bionic body. But just thinking about it makes me want to jump up and run around. I keep telling Graham that when Freak is in the hospital for his tests, I shouldn't have to go to school. Because we're like a team, but she won't buy it. I know Kevin has been a great help to you, she says, but you've got a brain of your own, haven't you, dear? Yeah, right. The other thing about school that's different after Christmas vacation is how jealous everybody is we got our pictures in the paper and on local TV. Mrs. Donnelly, in English, calls us the dynamic duo, and she puts a cutout picture from the paper up on the bulletin board. Wouldn't you know, some goon put mustaches on us the very first day. Freak says he looks cool with a mustache, and he can't wait to grow one, and he makes Mrs. Donnelly leave the picture up. Me, I'd just as soon forget about the whole thing. I really hate the idea of having to testify at the trial and tell what really happened, but everybody says I have to if I want him locked up for the rest of his life, which I do, especially after what he tried to do to poor Loretta, who was only trying to help. They can't make you if you don't want to, Freak says. A son doesn't have to testify against his father. Grim thinks it will do me good. Plus he's really worried he'll get off again, or fool the jury by quoting from the Bible. Grim worries too much, Freak says. Everybody worries too much. The way it finally turns out with Killer Kane, Freak is right. Because just before the trial is supposed to start, and I've got my fingernails chewed down to the second knuckle, Grim gets this telephone call that makes him punch his fist in the air and go, "Yes! Yes!" What happened? They made a deal, and Killer Kane pleaded guilty, which means he has to serve out the rest of his original sentence plus 10 more years. He'll be an old man when he gets out, Grim says. He'll be older than me. That should make me happy, but instead I feel really weird and worried. And Grim, who still thinks he knows everything, says, I just have to get used to the idea. The man is an accident of nature, he says. All you got from him is your looks and your size. You got your mother's heart, and that's what counts. So here, Grim is talking about nature, so the things that Max inherited from his family. So he's saying that Max only inherited his looks from his dad, but he got all the good things, his mama's heart, and that's what matters. The weird thing I keep thinking about, what if something happens when I get older and I turn out to be just another accident of nature? What does that mean? What is Max scared of here? And I want you to consider nature versus nurture. What else might he have inherited from his father that he might be scared of? I'd like you to pause the video and finish writing that answer. Now let's finish the rest of this chapter. Follow along with me. We are continuing at Grim Sees Me. So right here. Grim sees me thinking about that one night just before bed. And he sits on the end of the fold out and he says, things will make a lot more sense when you finish growing up, Maxwell. Now sleep tight and don't let the bedbugs bite. Grim means well, I know that, but sometimes he says the numbest things because it's growing up that worries me. And that is the end of chapter 21. When you're done, move on to the exit ticket.